Canada's won an amazing 40 medals, 15 alone in Victoria. And Carol Angela, traditionally at these games in this sport, our country dominates.
Absolutely, and there are always some magical moments that take place at the Commonwealth Games. I'll never forget the performances of Hibbert, Nollet, Lowing, and Strong, and it was at Commonwealth Games that Stella Ume became a star.
All right, let's put aside the history for a moment, look ahead to what might happen here at the Stadium Putra. Canada will be challenged severely in every event, beginning with the men's team competition.
You know, Scott, it's a very strange feeling thinking that we actually have to battle for the gold, but it will take a fight to win. Australia has completely revamped their programs in preparation for Sydney 2000. They're here for one reason, and that's to win. And you know, they've got exactly the right team to do just that. But the good news is our Canadian men's team has never looked better. Right now, our two stars are back from injury, Alexander Jeltkov and Peter Schmid. And you know, they look terrific.
Fair enough. First day of competition at the gymnastics venue, the Aussies covet Canada's crown. Ron?
Times the team has turned in golden performances. In Kuala Lumpur, they stride with the ease dynasties do, cool and confident. It's based on experience. Kris Burley is a veteran who's known victory before. His performance floored all challengers in Victoria. BC's Richard Ikeda was there 4 years ago to engage the high-wire heroics that helped win Canada gold. Alexander Jeltkov has been the Canadian champion and returns from injury to inject new hope in KL. The current national champ, Peter Schmid, leads and brings power to his team's podium possibilities. But Australia is a jealous rival, unwilling to follow Canada's lead. They've got sure hands and broad shoulders, as well as talent to burn as they build for an Olympics at home just 2 years down the road. But first, they must shake pillars of stone the Canadian men have never not won at the Commonwealth Games.
And so we go to the podium for the first day of competition at Putra Stadium. When it comes to men's team gymnastics, Canada owns the Commonwealth Games. But Carol Angela, will they get what they bargained for tonight?
Actually, Scott, right now, the best team out there could indeed be Australia. They are hot off a very impressive performance at the Pacific Alliance Championships, where they took the silver medal that far behind China. The good news is, I think it was a real wake-up call for our Canadian men's team. They've regrouped, they've refocused, and I think they're a better team for it. Don't expect them to surrender the dynasty easily. But let's not forget about England. In '94, they expected to win. They didn't due to injuries. But to add fuel to the fire, they've already stated they're not concerned about the Canadians. They think Australia is the team to beat. So there's going to be a lot of emotion out there.
Here's how we'll score it. Every country sends 4 men to each of the events. The best 3 scores to count towards the team total. At the end of the line, of course, is the men's team gold medal. And Canada gets started on the vault. Here's the 20-year-old 1997 Canadian national champion, Alexander Jeltkov.
And Scott, this is a fantastic event for Canada to be starting on. A good draw. They were pleased with the results. Vaulting is a power event, and they've got some big vaults planned.
Second all-around at the Canadian Championships this year in 1998. Did not compete at the Commonwealth Games in 1994. An immigrant from Russian Georgia.
Excellent start. Yurchenko 1.5, Scott. That is indeed a big vault. Judges will score that out of 9.6, which means it's valuable.
Canada trying to make hay while the sun shine on the vault. Here's the parallel bars now, and 10-year veteran of the Australian side, Brennon Dowrick.
Scott, Brennon is a physically strong athlete, which is to his advantage. But on this event, it requires a lot of finesse, and you don't want to overpower it.
Silver all around in 1994 in Victoria.
Ooh, 1/10 for that. Every time you adjust your hands, it is a 1/10 deduction. Strength move coming up. Oh, that is disaster for Australia. This is one of their best athletes. They were not expecting Brennon to make mistakes.
27 years old, originally from Wagga Wagga in New South Wales. One of the experienced members of this Australian side, and they're expected to win the gold medal. Heavy favorites, but a fall by Brennon Dowrick on the parallel bars has them in trouble.
And this is the most difficult moment to get back up and continue when you know you've fallen on something so simple. Still struggling on the double pike dismount. He's going to be extremely disappointed with that performance.
King of the Pommel horse at the Commonwealth Games, 2 games running. Auckland and Victoria, he has gold medals, but he has trouble on the P-bars here. in KL. The veteran, Brennon, Dowrick, another look.
Normally, this should be so easy for him. He's extraordinarily strong. Out of position, center of gravity way past the bar. He can't hold on to that. Dismount, you'll see he just pulls it too far. Over-rotates a double pike. More valuable points lost.
There's Alexander Jeltkov and his score on the vault, a solid 9-2. Seems low.
Actually, get used to that. With the new rules, we rarely see the high scores we're used to seeing in days gone by.
Here's Peter Schmid, his Canadian teammate and the acknowledged captain of the Canadian side. He's the leader, keeps everybody loose in the clubhouse. 26 years old, and he's the national champion.
And a powerhouse. This is his event. Oh, now that's how it should be done. Kazumatsu with a half twist. Nice and high, nice and solid.
Receives congratulations from his coach, Dave Arnold. And it looks like Canada's got it going on the vault. Meantime, back to Brennon Dowrick. Disaster for him, a 7-6 on the P-bars for the Australian veteran. Now we go to the pommel horse, and this is England's Lee McDermott, a veteran of the 1994 Commonwealth Games in Victoria.
Scott, this is an interesting story. He has one bad knee, and the therapist on his team says the other one's not worth much either, but he wants to be here for his team. You'll see he'll be doing the events that do not require hard landings, but look at him fly on the pommel horse.
Great upper body strength. He's the gold medalist on the rings from Victoria in '94. Got the great upper body.
Now, what the judges are looking for are jam-packed routines. Of course, you have to do them well, but the more content, the more difficulty you put in, the more impressed the judges are. And that routine is jam-packed.
You saw it there. He let himself lightly back down to earth, but a solid routine by Lee McDermott on the pommel horse. Peter Schmid, another 9-2 for Canada on the vault. And so they continue to roll. Scores seem low, but with the new code, high enough. Kris Burley of Canada now.
Now get ready for this. After Pacific Alliance, he was disappointed with his performance. He went home and he decided to add every trick in the book, and he's got a brand new vault. Very few athletes in the world have a vault out of 10. And this one is double front. Oh, that mat actually came up and hit him. He thought he was lower than he was. He reached out to put his hands down.
24-year-old native of Truro, Nova Scotia. There's one of the Canadian coaches, Dave Arnold, in behind, and another look at this big vault.
This is a rocher, handspring, 2 flips before he comes down to earth. Now watch the mat. Comes up and hits him. He thinks he's lower than he is and actually reaches out to protect himself.
Andrei Kravtsov, 27 years old, of Australia, a Russian immigrant, and he at the Pacific Alliance Championships in Winnipeg in July was the gold medalist.
A very classy athlete. Very smooth, great swing, back toss half. And the trick on this event is to keep it moving. Beautiful Diamondov quarter. It swings right through, no struggle, no strain.
3-time national champion in Australia.
Stutz to 1 bar. Oh, look at the height. Beautiful amplitude. Back toss right through a double pike. He's not going to let that go.
Well, the Australians prior to Andrei Kravtsov had struggled on the P-bars. Brennon Dowrick in the 7s, but Kravtsov nailed one. Lee McDermott getting some work done on his upper arm. 9.2, his score on the pommel horse, and on that difficult apparatus, that's great mark. 9.2 for Kris Burley on the vault, as the Canadians stay pretty static but pretty consistent there. Andrei Kravtsov, meantime, 9.550 on the parallel bars, the best mark we've seen to date. After one rotation, Australia, as expected, leads, but it's by less than 1/5 of a point over Canada. England is third. The Canucks are marching onto the P-bars when we return to men's gymnastics in KL. Back at the gymnastics venue in Malaysia, the 16th Commonwealth Games, Peter Schmid of Canada leads his team to the parallel bars.
Now they've got to be feeling good after the first event. Some solid performances on vault. Beautiful double back. That is a Morrisou, and it's beautifully done. Stutz to handstand. Stutz to one bar. Everything's got to go to handstand, but Scott, that is going to be a big deduction. He's offside, but I like the attitude. He is not giving up. Double pike, pulls it too far, over-rotates, 2/10 right there.
Veteran of 6 years on the national team, overcoming some injury problems of his own. He had back problems that kept him out of the Pacific Alliance Championships in Winnipeg. That's Peter Schmid will watch for his score. Now up to the high bar, Philippe Rizzo, just 17 years old from Australia. They tell us he's one of the great talents to come out of that country ever.
Absolutely. And take a look at this. Great in-bar work. Stoop in. Beautiful depth. Now I could hear Batkin saying under the bar, catch. If the judges heard him, that's a deduction, but I doubt they did. Double twisting, double layout. Now that's how high bar should be done.
Philippe Rizzo, his dad Andrei, competed at the Olympics in 1960.
Big tricks. This is an in-bar. Endo pirouette. Judges love to see that in-bar work. But we like to see this. Huge release moves, 1.5. That's a depth. Now just caught it in time.
17 years old, but he turned in an explosive high bar routine. Go back to Peter Schmid, the captain of Canada. His score, an 8.5 on the parallel bars. An early struggle for the Canadians on that apparatus. Now up to the rings for Andrew Atherton, 23 years old, of England.
An extremely challenging event. Tremendous upper body strength. You can just feel the shoulders being pulled out at the bottom of those big swings. Kazogi's hurt. And then to stop in a position, look at the strength in his upper body.
He's the English national champion, 19th all around at the European Championships in Russia this year.
A little shaky, Scott, but he's actually hitting perfect position. Double layout, nails it down.
Well, the English are grooming Andrew Atherton for the all-around title. He'll compete in all 6 events here in the team competition.
Kazogi, watch the force at the bottom of the swing. Really needs strong, durable shoulders to take that kind of pain.
Well-deserved rest for Andrew Atherton of England after a great rings routine. Now to the P-bars and Richard Ikeda.
And this is a tense moment. Ikeda has had a lot of trouble with this mount combination all week. Not today.
Richard had 4 medals for Canada at the Victoria Commonwealth Games, a gold, a silver, 2 bronze.
And lately he's actually been struggling on the parallel bars. But you know, he really seems to have his head together. Looks confident. Nice line. Stutz keeps it moving. Double pike. He's got to nail it. That's a great job for Canada.
And they need it after some early struggles on the P-bars. I remember when he was a youngster, but he's now been 6 years on the national team. Richard Ikeda of Abbotsford, BC.
Nice fluid swing. Stutz right to handstand. Back toss. Good height. The important thing is he keeps it moving. Now, his routine is out of 9.7. He still needs more difficulty added to the routine to get a start value out of 10. The judges still want to see more.
9.1 for Richard Ikeda on the parallel bars, surprisingly low. There's Andrew Atherton, 9.25 for him on the ring. So the English are starting to swing here in KL. Speaking of swinging, Bret Hudson, one of the elite high bar workers in the world.
And that's got to boost your confidence with Batkin putting you up on the bar. Coach of the world champion. Now he resides in Australia from his native Russia. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous high bar. Bret is a really determined athlete, winding up big Kovacs. Too far.
Bret won the gold medal at the Pacific Alliance Championships in Winnipeg in July. He built into his routine great release skills like that, but he just failed to catch the bar on that one.
Now he'll have 30 seconds to chalk up. Vatkin is telling him exactly what to do, and you know, Scott, I bet he repeats the release move. He needs to have value, he needs to have credit. But more important, every competition is experience for the next one, and I know Vatkin wants him to throw it again. That's exactly what he's doing. Winding up. Kovacs. Oh, what a beauty, and what a difference a moment makes. He's kicking himself now for missing it the first time. Double twisting, double layout.
Well, that's what Bret Hudson is all about on the high bar. Once he's got it right, he can make it exciting. 2 rotations are done. Australia holds firm, but Canada stumbles on the P-bars to find itself third behind England by nearly a full point. We'll return in just a moment.